Hello and welcome to the Hoop Troop podcast. I am Matt O'Connor, and joining me as they do on all of our shows, my cousin Luke Drobner.
What's up, guys?
And my brother Mike O'Connor.
What's up?
And, oh, look at that. I know we're here just in time to celebrate a historic finals run and championship win by the New York Knicks, beating the Spurs in 5 games. Could have been 4 if the ref show was not what the ref show was. None of that even matters because the Knicks are champs. Can't take it away from us. Guys, I mean, what do we have to say? I know we record before the finals, but my God, it's been a crazy week and a half.
It's been a good week and a half.
2 weeks, week and a half, whatever the hell it's been. But yeah, nuts.
Yeah, I think it's hard because it's been a couple of days since we won, but definitely the night after, just like a grin on my face. I woke up on Monday and I went to the gym and I wore my Knicks shirt, and I don't know what it was, but I couldn't stop smiling knowing that I was wearing a Knicks shirt, and I was like very proud. And
so I'm assuming you didn't get it. Honestly, it was one of those things where in the city, if you were wearing anything orange and blue, honestly, it probably didn't even need to say Knicks on it. People would just walk by you, go Knicks in 5. Cars would stop and yell at their window. Knicks. Like it was everyone. I'm sure it wasn't like that out there.
I didn't have that. But if I was wearing something Knicks, people would be like, "Hey, go Knicks!" Or like, "How about that Knicks?" Or
I know
people were saying stuff.
It was chaos in New York in a positive way.
And
like,
I will never forget the feeling, and looking around and everyone's wearing Knicks stuff and everyone's talking to each other about it. It's the buzz here is crazy, and that's not even factoring in I didn't go near the 7th Avenue stuff.
Right.
Is also insane, and in a lot of ways good. Besides the bad eggs in that, literally.
Egging Wemby, which we'll get into all of that, but
it was just it was just a lifetime of visualizing and not even really being able to fathom that this could happen. And like the clock, OG hitting the icing 3 and the icing free throw and the clock expiring. It's just like you don't even know how you're going to react because you've been thinking about it for so long and investing so much time. And it's that payoff is like nothing in sports that I've ever felt.
I've never fully none of my teams have won in my life. I guess I was young, but the Devils won, so I guess I'll count that, but not really. But I don't think I ever understood what this felt like, where, for years, think about the hours you've spent either watching the team play, following, what they're doing in the offseason.
It's like 2 hours every other night for the past 5 to 10 years.
For, your whole life, you've been rooting for this team to do something like this. And so it's weird where, I feel like people make fun of people like myself who, you root for a team and you're like, oh, well, we can do this. We can whatever. But, you do weirdly feel like you're part of it. And I don't know. There was something cathartic about looking around, seeing the whole city feel that way of, we did it.
That A$AP Rocky quote where, some lady stopped him on the street while he was, after we won, they were like, so how long have you been a Knicks fan? He's like, I know Knick fan. I am a Knick. I felt that, and I'm sure the other 15 million people who were cheering on the Knicks in the greater New York area probably all felt exactly the same way about it. Even the people who don't live there anymore, here I am in Seattle, I see people wearing Knicks stuff all the time. I run into people that are like, "Oh, you're from New York." I'm sure they all felt the same way about it. There are 25 million people in the United States that feel like they contributed to this, and they've all been waiting for it for so long, and they all are through the roof happy about what has happened over the last week.
And I think I've been seeing a lot of it, and I think it's just really true, even though there's a lot of sports teams here and a lot of rich sports history, great sports moments, things like that. I think this is New York's team across all sport.
100%.
It just
Definitely
is. And it's a basketball town. Trying to think of other basketball towns. I do think San Antonio is a basketball town. They like their basketball.
They love basketball there.
Who else? LA.
Seattle doesn't have a team, but you can feel it everywhere you go. They love hoops, and we have the Jamal Crawford program and stuff like that's out here. But a lot of support for basketball, even though we don't have a team. And there's a lot of big time hoopers: Nate Robinson, Isaiah Thomas from the Celtics, not from the Pistons. Jamal Crawford, obviously. Both McDaniels brothers are from the area. the list goes on. There's a lot of really good basketball culture out here in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, then you go like LA. I mean, Boston split just because they have all that success and all those other teams, but Celtics kind of feel like a primary team there. But yeah, I mean, New York is the one where, I mean, it's also just, I figured, you have two teams in every sport here in New York, and honestly, you even have one in basketball, but the Nets just, it pales in comparison. But the Knicks are the one that kind of unifies that. It doesn't matter if you're Yankees, Mets. It doesn't matter if you're Jets or Giants. It doesn't matter if you're Rangers, Islanders, Devils, whatever in the the
You're probably a Knicks fan.
You're rooting for the Knicks. So it was the one that just unified everyone, and it's been 50 years since they won. Like, it's just, I know, but it's just like everyone's so starved for it, and I mean, it's been 30 since they made the finals. Like, it's just,
and I think more or less we were doubted the whole way. It was never like, yes, the Knicks can do it. Yes, the Knicks will do it. It was always like, I don't know. It's an uphill battle. This team's going to have to fight. And the team fought every step of the way. Like, down 20, up 20, the team fought.
And one thing I'm going to add to that, too, is I feel like everyone widened the goalpost every step of the way. Where at first it's, oh, the Hawks, they're going to beat us. Mike Brown's going to get fired. Then we beat the Hawks, and it's like, oh, well, they just beat the Hawks. It was, they're no good anyway. They were supposed to. Then the narrative going into the Sixers series is, uh-oh, watch out. Philly just beat Boston. They're better. Then all of a sudden the Knicks beat them, and they're like, well, like, they would have had a harder time with Boston. They got lucky. Philly got through, whatever. And it's like, they beat the team that we were supposed to lose to, and we beat them.
And it wasn't like it was a competition. We smoked Philly.
Right.
Like, start to finish, smoked.
Not even close. And then you get the same thing happen with the Cavs, where it's like, oh, well, if it was the Pistons, but it's like, we beat the team that beat the Pistons handily, blew them out, absolutely ran them out of the gym in
start
4
to
games.
finish. Yeah.
And so that's where, to me, the narrative gets so frustrating, because it's like, you position it how you want to position it. This team absolutely ran through. We only lost 3 games in the postseason. Outstanding. Yeah. And you did it against, really, everyone expected preseason it was going to be Knicks, Cavs, Eastern Conference Finals. So you had to play the team that you thought you were going to have to beat. And then the other teams you beat were solid teams. And then, good Lord, the Spurs. I mean, they just
60-win team.
We're a great team, and you're playing against the first unanimous defensive player of the year in Wembanyama, and you beat him in 5 games.
And we went at Wemby. It wasn't like we shied away, like, oh, we got to watch out for Wemby. You guys were going at Wemby.
You didn't do anything cute.
And not to mention, guys were going at Wemby. The smallest guy on the court, who we could spend a million years now talking about, Jalen Brunson. We'll get to him, I guess. I think luxuriating and like analyzing more this run is probably where we should spend more of our time. But you saying us going at Wemby, like, Jalen Brunson was going right at him. That play in Game 5, that will always be etched in my memory among others.
Getting 2 feet in the paint and then like a little pivot and the layup.
And again, like in our last episode when we were predicting how the series was going to go, I think Luke and I said 6, Knicks and 6.
5.
Matthew, you called 5. But I think something did shift after the Hawks series that I was definitely nervous. I was never comfortable against the Spurs. Even with the 3-1 lead, I wasn't sure. But something did change in this team when they became an absolute buzzsaw. And I think it was the first time in my fandom where I trusted the guys. I'm like, they're going to come in ready, and they're going to take care of business and control what they can control and like do their best to win. And they can.
I mean, to get back to Brunson, like halfway through the third, he was on a heater offensively. Obviously, he had like 14 or something like that in that third quarter, maybe more. I forget.
You're saying Game 5.
Game 5, yeah, sorry. It wasn't even like the scoring that really got to me, because I know I didn't text halfway through the third, like, congrats guys, we're champs, but like when I saw Brunson making the plays that weren't even on offense, right? Like, he was like going up and getting rebounds. There was one play where like the Spurs threw it back towards the half court off like a offensive rebound. The guy was like falling out of bounds. He like chucked it back to hope they could keep the possession. And Brunson like got up and took the ball. I was like, I didn't even think Brunson could jump that high. So when I saw stuff like that, I was like, I trust Brunson. He's going to take us to the finish line. And with like 6 minutes to go in the third, I like shed a tear knowing that we were going to win.
That early? I didn't know that it was that early. I mean, they were down 15 in the fourth quarter.
But I knew like Brunson had it. Brunson was he was focused, he was locked in. We'd come back 100 times before him. Like,
And I'm
The-
sorry.
Go ahead.
If you don't lose your thought though, this kind of expounds on what Luke's saying. There were a lot of things I feel like I had never seen from Jalen Brunson before, and like it'll go down. I would say from game 3 on, he was way more comfortable, even though he lost game 3.
Yeah.
And even though he was uncomfortable in games 1 and 2, he flew in for that rebound, that tip that got to, I think it was OG or Shamit, and then led to what was at that time the biggest shot of the finals, which was that 3-pointer.
Yeah, in the corner.
Up one. But it came from him hustling and getting a rebound. Like, he was just everywhere.
Making every play.
Defense was fine. Like, the whole thing about us needing to hide Brunson because they were going to attack him, yeah, I mean, he's smaller. I never once watching was like, oh my God, we can't have Brunson on the court. He's not playing tough enough. He's not D'ing up. He just did everything. And not to mention, like, in games 1, game 2, every game, he was hitting these. The shot making was just. I'm not really being that coherent, but it was just. I've never seen anything like it. It was amazing.
Yeah, and I think on top of that too, you look at the shot making given. And look, we don't have to get into too much detail about it, but it was, I mean, a huge topic of conversation throughout the series, and granted, it just still unfolded positively for the Knicks, but the officiating was about as slanted as you're ever going to see. I mean, it was, the national media was calling it into question. So, I mean, it's amazing for him to be getting grabbed and mugged the way that he was getting, absolutely. And like, again, I think Castle's a great defender. I think, every last one of those perimeter defenders that they were throwing at Brunson were guarding him well. Granted, mauling him, but they were still guarding him well in the confines of how the refs were calling it. And so, yeah, was he inefficient early on? Absolutely. But the thing that's amazing about him is he always seems to figure a team out. Like, even the Hawks, for example, like in that first series, Dyson Daniels, I feel like, was doing a pretty good job on him in those first couple games, and then he figures it out. And then they blow them out to close them out. And he just seems to have that resolve and that, I honestly, just the basketball IQ that differentiates him from, like, very good players. It's what puts him in this upper echelon where I'm like, how many players are actually right now, if you're going into a playoff series, would you rather have than Jalen Brunson right now? Like, it's
clutch.
Not many.
I honestly, like, I know he has a clutch player of the year trophy, right? I think proves it series after series, season after season. If you needed a bucket, there are probably not many guys that you would call on over Brunson. You got to think top 5 bucket getter easy, right?
Yeah.
So, like, outside of like a select few, right? People at like the very upper echelon of the league right now, and even like all-time greats, Brunson is up there with them.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously this unlocks the conversation around greatest Knick of all time. Where does he stack up in the greatest players of all time? I mean, I know that discourse is starting. It's fascinating. From where he started, but I mean, both his career, but in particular his Knicks career, where everyone was like, this is an overpay. What are the Knicks doing? To this, I mean, it is just amazing what he's done. He's averaging in like 60 career playoff games with the Knicks, like 30 points a game. He's just continually dominating. It's amazing.
He also has shifted the culture so starkly to get. I don't know what. I would never know what happened in the locker room over the course of the season, and then obviously the Hawks series. But to get Cat to accept a role, to get Bridges to accept a role, OG. It's hard to place OG because he is very good. He averaged 20 points in the playoff or in the finals. Like, he's a real threat. He's not just a player, but he accepted what his role was, which is basically like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I don't know.
It all. Well, go for it.
I don't know how much of Brunson you can say. Well, Brunson changed the culture to like everyone's got to play their role, and I think a lot of the players on the team bought in. Obviously, Brunson starts that culture as our leader, as our best player, as a guy who gave up $100 million plus in a contract negotiation. Things like that. But like, it wasn't that Brunson got Bridges to buy in or Towns to buy in, right? Like, Towns himself bought in, Bridges himself bought in, right? Hart himself bought in. So all these guys, and I think, like, OG's hard to place, like you say. I think when we gave him $40 million a year, I was like, I don't know. He's proven he's worth more than $40 million a year, right? If he's going to average 20 a game, and, be second team all league defense, which probably is an understatement of how good of a defender he is. Like, these contracts, these deals worked out for us, and obviously the culture we built, even like the championship, they were talking about Leon Rose and what he's done for the organization and his ability to identify people who not only want to be a Knick, but people who are willing to buy into the culture of it's about the team and it's not about me, and they fight for each other. And right, Leon Rose's ability to attract those types of players and keep them here in New York, it has been amazing as well.
And then Matthew, I'll pass it to you. I don't know how much this correlates or what it is, but I think OG's the only one who won a second ring. Everyone else was a first-time finals winner on the roster. When's the last time that's happened? Is this the first time?
Like a great team, like an all-time team.
Everyone's all-time team where everyone except for one, and like OG was hurt and didn't play. So like this one's like his real ring. If we're gonna, his first one's real too. He earned that, but. When's the last? Everyone was so hungry to get one.
Right.
I just think there's something about that. It's just really interesting to think about. I would be interested in crunching the numbers on the last time everyone had never won a ring before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other thing I want to kind of point out is, so we're looking at this as like obviously Brunson, true leader, but the way that the team gelled in this moment. Let's flip this and now look at the Spurs, who, they've proven. They are here to stay. They're officially on that stage. Wemby has demonstrated that he is just, tougher than the West at a minimum. We'll see about the East moving forward. But then, God, Harper, just amazing resolve for a rookie. Castle, so great on defense. Champagnie coming out of the woodwork as such a great shooter. All these guys, and then De'Aaron Fox was injured and playing through it and had some tough plays, and I'm sure there's going to be a tremendous amount of conversation. He's caught a lot of the heat. He might not be a Spur for long, but even so, you look at this roster.
They have nothing but good problems.
Yeah, and they're only going to get better. I do think they're top heavy in a way where they rely on Victor too much. And that's why at the end of those games, the Knicks were clawing their way back because he got tired. He got gassed. And look, I like Luke Cornett. I think he's a solid backup center. But if you don't have any other size,
off the bench, they had 7 guys really, right? Like their 5 starters. Harper came off the bench. Cornett came off the bench. I know they have other guys.
They tried Harrison Barnes. That didn't really work out. Carter Bryant. That was like
Carter Bryant. They sent Carter Bryant in there to like
foul.
It's like this. It's like it seems a little. It seems a little bit like a what's it called, like a
fullback in football, just absolutely going and clobbering up the middle.
The Saints got fined for it. Right?
Oh, the bounty program.
Bounties. It seems a little bit like that, right? Yeah. Like get in there and like rough up the best player. He was like tackling Shea in the Oklahoma City series. He was putting shoulders into Towns. He was trying to piss Brunson off, and
it was fascinating because I feel like so much of the conversation, especially, throughout the season, but the playoffs and everything, was watching the Thunder and watching, the whole concept of, they foul on every play. You can't possibly call it.
I think
it's true, but it's not, with the exception of Dort, they're not exactly dirty on the Thunder. Like, it was more just, like, frustrating that they would foul on every play, then get rewarded with a light whistle on the other end.
Right.
This Spurs team, by contrast, fouls on every play and is particularly dirty. Between Wemby whispering to Plumlee and
hard fouls.
Biyombo, like clearly go foul hard and everything, and then everything that happened with Carter Bryant, it was gross. And then Wemby's getting all these flagrants, and the league is just blatantly protecting him.
Yeah, I think
whatever. It did not end up mattering, but he should have been suspended by Game 4.
I think we point out Oklahoma City as like an instigator. And I don't disagree that their whistle is a little bit lopsided, and I think that has to go with the way they prepare for the games and what they point out to the refs and, the other team's preparation to counter that. I think Oklahoma City is very prepared to come to these games and get the whistle they want and the whistle they need. But I think the physicality and the quote-unquote dirtiness from the Spurs started against the Timberwolves, because part of the Timberwolves' game plan was to, like, be physical and rough up the Spurs a little bit, right? Like if you go through that series, right, it wasn't like Wemby just elbowed Naz Reid out of the blue. Obviously, like a really hard foul, flagrant 2, he got ejected. But I mean, if you go back, they were pushing Wemby. They were, bumping him without the ball being near him, things like that. They were trying to be physical, and I think that's kind of what built up to him elbowing him. And then, the series went on. It was physical. They get to Oklahoma City. It doesn't get better. And then they come to the Knicks with this mentality of this is how you win playoff series. You flop. You play really physical. You play dirty. They're not going to call that flagrant if they're not looking, right? So.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, the Wemby just head stuff on Brunson is
ridiculous.
mind-boggling. That doesn't get upgraded the next day. I mean, it's gross, is honestly. Like, Adam Silver is lucky that the Knicks came through in 5 games, because then so whatever, he doesn't get suspended for game 4 or even have that upgraded. Then all of a sudden he's in the landing zone, and it's amazing.
They missed it. Yeah.
And they missed it, but he looks down at Brunson's foot and has his foot out. Like, it's just gross. Like, it honestly there was intent to injure players in a way that I don't understand how the league can justify that.
I mean, the league, I think it's like obvious on some games where like the refs are missing some terrible calls and guys are getting away with way too much. There were times in the finals where I'm like, they're not even playing basketball anymore, right? Like Stephon Castle with those hand checks, it's like he's like stiff arming guys. It's like, come on, right?
He trucked Brunson to the ground.
Yeah,
game 2.
And in other series and other situations, they get calls as a flagrant. And I don't remember who was officiating the game, but they were just like common foul. And I was like, so
Adam Silver has an actual problem unless he doesn't care.
He has his golden child. He's trying to build the basketball league in Europe. He has his European star. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Concerning to me because there's this huge push from the league for player participation. We need guys playing 65 or more games a year. You're not supposed to be taking off nationally televised games, blah, 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 blah. Whatever they're implementing and trying to get guys on the court. But then you're letting guys like beat each other down to the ground. You're letting guys, make these moves on offense that's blowing out their knees and their Achilles. It starts with the officiating to say like, you're not allowed to make plays that are going to hurt other players, even if someone didn't get hurt. You're not allowed to make plays that is going to put yourself in a bad situation. So I just think it's poorly handled, right? They're treating a lot of symptoms and not a lot of problems. Simply, they're not treating the disease, I guess.
Right. No, and I do. I mean, again, I don't want that to be my takeaway from this finals, but I do think it's quite the accomplishment that the Knicks were able to kind of separate that. Like, because that is distracting when the officiating is that one lopsided, especially when it's so violent. And to win it in 5 in that way is just, I mean, truly astounding. And Michael, to your point, if you go up and down that roster of how everyone played their role and played it exceptionally in this series, they did what it took to win. I think we haven't even talked about the crazy OG shot. That's probably the best. His tip-in is probably the best play in Knicks history, realistically.
It for sure is.
It's just amazing. I mean, and they came back from 29 down, setting a finals record. Like, it's just the greatest comeback of all time to beat all of these circumstances. It's amazing. I mean, this is one of the best championships. Not that I understand you can't take a win away from anyone, but if we're ranking them all time, this is up there. I mean, this is one of the best rings.
I think what's nice is it's being validated by people that aren't us, which is biased. I mean, we're Knicks fans.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
But it's being objectively looked at if you factor in the absolute juggernaut run we went on for 2 months.
Yeah.
Combined with some of the moments are going to be frozen in time. Like, you can see the frozen moments from this run.
I related a lot to 2011 Mavs Dirk over the Heatles, first year Heatles. I feel a lot like that. Like, really good veteran team, obviously with a superstar, Brunson and Dirk, but like a team. Right. And they beat another good team who maybe didn't have the chemistry or the right mentality to win a championship. Because I remember, like, in that series, like, Dirk played a game sick, and LeBron and Wade were like in the tunnel, making fun of him, coughing and stuff like that, right? Like, that kind of like showed a similar mentality to the Spurs with some of the stuff they said. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, the Spurs are super young. There's an immaturity there, both for the players and their coaches in their second year. And he was only supposed to be an interim coach, and then they promoted him to the full-time head coach. Like, and not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, they're evolving. It's going to take time. And good God, they are going to be good forever. I mean, even if they just keep Harper and Wemby on the same team, I mean, they're going to be good for 10 years to 15 years.
Yeah.
20 years, however long they play.
But I'm just going to decide to do the hot take here because I will never be a fan of that guy ever. Like, done.
Oh, after that performance? No.
And like, the only way, maybe somewhere down the line, he repents for his sins and comes, like, kind of like LeBron, like, matured up and did something righteous, I thought, in going to Cleveland. I mean, also, if we want to, I'm not even going to let LeBron get away with it. He waited until 3 drafts were basically rigged for him in Cleveland and then went back.
Hey.
But either way, I digress to say Wemby would have to do something pretty serious for me to ever be a fan of him. But even through that very unfair lens, not guaranteed. West is going to be tough. The OKC took him to 7, not necessarily, and you never know with injuries. Not just him, but anyone on his team. So
You never know with injuries. You never know with like the Timberwolves who fought pretty hard with an injured Anthony Edwards. So
that's one of my way too early predictions that we'll get to about the Minnesota.
I know.
But another thing I've now learned, being a champion, because we are champions. How hard was this? It was so hard.
it's difficult, impossible.
They made it look easy.
Being as big of NBA fans as we are, we've obviously watched how many finals and respect it and things like that. But when you watch the whole journey, even with the buzzsaw run we went on, the focus every other day to go back in and try to win and compete for this finals was, I can't even imagine, excruciating for them. And I just think the level of difficulty to get back and to not even just get back but win is really hard. So I'm not going to sit here. Maybe the Spurs will be good for 10 years. You just never know. So
Yeah.
I'm rooting against it, which is
No,
my
I think
issue.
we've seen a lot of champions, right? I've been an NBA fan for 20 years. You see people win and you can say, wow, congrats. But like when your team does it, because you invest so much and you know the team so much better than all these other teams, you really get a feel for how much a team has to put in to get a championship.
Well, that's why
And every champion has to do it.
I think that narrative that you need to lose to win is, I mean, it's holding true. I mean, this is the Spurs. This is their first time making the playoffs with this group. Like, the fact that they even made the finals is staggering. I do think that there's some truth
100%.
in that. Is you need to learn what the postseason really requires to get over the hump. I mean, look at all of these teams that have gone on to win. They've all been fighting for it for years, and then they finally have gotten over it. I mean, go back from.
It takes resilience.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's
like,
why I just think.
Even if you think about the Pacers last year,
exactly.
Right, that Pacers team last year, like they never gave up. I remember that Knicks Eastern Conference, and like I remember Game 1 being so full of myself, like good game, got one, and they never gave up, and they played hard, and they hit a couple shots, and we made a couple mistakes, and they won that game. And look how many times we did it this year. Every champion needs to have that type of, it's still our game, down 20, up 20, play hard, play desperate, play like a dog. So
there were a few moments like McCall after we went up 2-0 in San Antonio. That post-game interview was the weirdest thing I've ever seen because his eyes looked like he wanted to literally kill someone. I was like, these guys are so dialed that I think that, like you're saying, Luke, that's what it requires. You're just completely locked in.
100%. No distraction. And I mean, the one game we lost, major distraction.
Yeah.
Major.
We'll get into
could have been something different, but yeah.
All right. So do we have any, before we turn over and do a look ahead into the offseason and next season, do we have any other parting thoughts on this run outside of just how fantastic it was and how happy I am for this team and for us?
Yeah, I mean, exciting playoffs. I think top to bottom. I think that's what I want to say. Starting from the play-in, those playing games were really fun this year, and then
Viewership way up.
I feel like every series was hard fought. Even like one Pistons, eight Magic. That was a 7 game series. Both teams fought hard, and Detroit came out on top by the hair on their teeth, skin on their teeth, and so obviously like every series, even like Cavs Raptors, that was 7 games. That was a 4-5 matchup. Some of the West series weren't as good, but
Yeah,
overall
I mean
very
there
satisfying.
were a lot of injuries that kind of led to that in the West. I feel like they had a lot more of their stars go down,
Yeah,
which it just affects the whole thing, which is kind of a bummer. Um, but the East was good,
East was a lot of fun. And I
yeah.
guess I watched a lot more of the
and
East than I did
and
West.
that 7 game Western Conference Final was fun. As injured as the Thunder were, it was a fun series.
100%.
All right,
Before we move on,
yeah.
I just want to commemorate like Cat.
Oh, fantastic.
What does this do for him? I'm just curious what it does.
It validates his resolve and his grit and his determination. I think all season we talked about like the silly, stupid plays he makes on a
Yeah.
nightly basis, and we were like, "You'll never win a championship like this."
The stupid fouls,
And
the
up until
like
like
feet check shots, the
yeah,
driving and hooking people, like
up until like game 4 of the finals, he got rid of all that, and he was like the most perfect version of himself. And like I applaud him for more or less hearing every criticism and making every adjustment he needed to make.
so selfless. Like it was just
and
amazing.
selfless and fits really well on this team. And
Oh yeah.
to not to, there's so many people on this team that I want to spend time honoring, from Shamit, obviously, to McCall, huge game 2 and just huge moment. OG, we just talked about the tip in. Like, Cat with the Cat scan role and
Yeah.
unlocking that in this playoffs only makes me more excited for the next. I think we have a good 2 to 3 years. I will reiterate, it's impossible to get back, let alone win the finals. You never know. I would I'm not taking this one for granted, but if you do some too early predictions and you think about it, unlocking that piece of this core game and having that for an entire season next year and then into another postseason, you have to be feeling pretty good about that as a Knicks fan. So
100%.
Definitely. I mean, there's so much to be excited about. All right, so now we'll use that as a segue. You're talking about your predictions for next year and feeling good about next year. You said you drew up like 8 different way too early predictions, but let's get in. Let's go around the horn. Let's start throwing some out here of what we think we might see for the next year. And Michael, I know you have your list, so I'll let you start us off.
I'll do a Knicks one, and then the rest of them aren't Knicks, and it is about the guy I just brought up.
Okay.
My way too early prediction is Cat is going to take a team-friendly extension, and they're going to sign him to it this coming year. And
Okay.
I think he's going to want to stay with the Knicks for the next into his mid-30s and want a team build. I think
I'd love to see it.
What do you think? What do you think the likelihood of that is?
I don't know. So it's funny. That's kind of
he
playing
cha-
into one of my predictions. So let's have this conversation and then I'm gonna get into mine. But
He chased bags early, right? He took every max extension he can get. He's worth easily $300 million at this point, right? He probably has about that in career earnings. So it's not like money is a motivating factor, right? It's not like, but with that being said, I don't think there's a lot of guys in the league who say like, I shouldn't take the most money I can get. If I think about like Mike Howe was like, yeah, sure, I'll take a team friendly extension. Then he gave like $8 million back, right?
it wasn't
like,
much.
So I don't know how many.
Granted, a different starting point. He didn't have the same base that Cat would have had.
Right. And like, I don't know how many guys are willing to sacrifice a Brunson amount of money.
Even if it's not a Brunson amount of money, if anything, especially because we've got our starting 5 for the next 2 years.
Right.
Anything on the fringes, especially if James Dolan is saying he's not going to go into the second apron, which maybe he and Leon need to talk. any amount of sacrifice would matter. Like even the $8 million McCall gave up is helpful.
Yeah.
I just think if you read too much into, like I am, all the things Kat is saying, that everyone in this locker room respects who he is as a person. Like he likes being here, and I just think he's a legend here. And I that's my prediction.
I think
something team friendly for us.
I agree with you that, and I also think Brunson doing this sets the tone. And you saw whatever Mikhail takes a little less. OG didn't, but fine. But I still think you're going to start seeing, especially as they get older, them being willing to sacrifice if they want to be here. And Kat's a guy from New Jersey, clearly loves the Knicks. Like, I could see him wanting to be here and making that sacrifice. So, yes, I think that's totally possible. Which I'm now gonna, and I'll get my Knicks prediction out of the way. Is I think for the last 5 years, the whole Leon Rose tenure, James Dolan has kind of been in the backseat. He clearly has emerged. He's woken up because between the Game 3 distraction, just inviting Donald Trump to a place that no one fucking wanted him, and ruining the vibes, and then losing a game, him like going down and giving them like some locker room speech telling them not to have sex for 10 weeks, like he's being a weirdo again in a way that I don't like. He's been on the radio like saying we are going to win the championship, and granted, like calling your shot in that way is crazy, and it worked out, but he's doing old James Dolan shit that's bad. And now the day before the parade, he's going out there saying we're not going to go into the second apron, which essentially applies by Mitchell Robinson, by Landry Shamet, by key role players on this team. I'm not going into the second apron, so basically, thanks for the championship, see ya. Awful for the vibes. Then he also says, oh, well, we're going to the White House, which also, F off, I hope the players boycott it. But I just think he's going to make this about him again, and it's going to ruin this, and the Knicks are going to fall off. I have an awful feeling that James Dolan is going to get, his ego is through the roof, and he's going to make this all about him. He's going to want to meddle in the team building in a way that is going to be so counterproductive.
He's definitely on a power trip right now, and I think that comes with winning a championship. I think he's always been a little bit egotistical as an owner.
A little.
And, I think when the Knicks were bad, it was easy to say, like, look, I understand you're the owner, but like the team's bad, you need to let me take charge here and fix our problems. But now that the team's good, Dolan's like, look, the team's good, man. Like, and even like, I'm sure this finals run, like, more or less, like, is minting gold right now, like printing money.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He isn't like, right. So even if the team, gets bounced in the first round next year, he's printing money. So.
My counter there is he's doing stuff publicly right now. That guy must have been such a problem behind. I know it was more quiet.
Shit.
He's a loser, and he's been a loser forever. And in Leon, I trust. I think he's given Leon the keys. I really do. And I wish he didn't say it out loud on a radio show today, but I guarantee you they are having debates in his office, Leon. Maybe even Mike Brown. I don't know who's in that, but saying like, how can I avoid the second apron? Because also, he's not necessarily wrong. I feel like I don't know enough because I don't understand it that well. But most pundits I'm seeing are saying, like, the second apron is the kiss of death. Like you can't aggregate salaries. There's all these penalties. If you basically have a 2-year window to spend like drunken sailors, but then you don't have a tremendous amount of flexibility in those 2 years. Look at the Celtics. I mean, they just had to go scorch earth to break it down after going up in there. Granted, they won a championship when they went up in there. So, like, I do think I look at it where you can make it work. And also, you just won a finals. You would essentially be bringing back that finals team to accomplish that. So, if you're now going to bust into the second apron, but you're saying we're keeping together this team that just won a championship, I guess I'm failing to see the logic of why you wouldn't do that.
I don't understand why we'd be concerned about aggregating salaries if, here we have a championship team. All we have to do is keep together and play well, build some chemistry.
Right. Now, I think if the discourse is, do we think we're going to get 2 more years of Mitchell Robinson playing basketball at this level? That's a legitimate question to ask. And so maybe you weren't planning on bringing him back, and maybe he's going to make money on the open market that for your backup center you don't want to give. Maybe someone's going to pay him to be a starter. Fine. Like, that's a very different conversation. But saying we're not going into the second apron just out of principle, that's different to me. And so I'd rather have the front office be more involved in making strategic decisions than him just being like, I'm not going in the second apron, like I'm done with it. And that's where I just think James Dolan is going to make it about him, where his perception of things is going to trump any of the basketball logic. That is my fear-ridden. I wish I could have had a week in peace to enjoy them winning a championship without him going out there and saying dumb shit. But here we are.
He did, and then I'm going to let Luke go with an early prediction, or whoever else wants to go, or me. But he did also have another. I saw a couple sound bites, and one of them was, "We made a lot of mistakes during my time." Like I never said during my time, but over history, we made a lot of mistakes. We've often chased the shiny thing and just went against course and went against plan. And he's like, "We're not doing that anymore." And like Leon came in and has had us on course. I'm like, okay, I'm clinging to that. So that's why
exactly. And I have to hope that's true. And I mean, between Leon, Brock Aller, the cap guru, like I just think they're gonna those two will make smart decisions.
Like I'm ready for I'm like, I can't believe in the age of Leon Rose. I'm excited to see who our second round pick is, because I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we drafted Mo Diawara, was great for us all year. I hope we can bring him back, but
restricted free agent. Yeah,
he was He was like the 56th pick, 54th.
I feel
something
like they
that.
intentionally didn't play him in the postseason because they don't want anyone to see how good he is. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that.
I mean, I don't think you're going to hide him from an NBA GM. He played 40-something games for us this year.
Yeah, exactly. He played enough.
Yeah, he's definitely got a profile now on every NBA team's scouting board. So, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of decisions. Again, I don't think we're in a bad place financially or free agent wise or anything like that. We obviously have the assets to recoup any type of loss we might have. So,
All right,
Mike,
Luke.
what's the next one? I don't have any, so I think Mike should go again.
Okay,
All right,
we'll rip us another one.
Here's the only thing I will ask: do you want an East or a West?
Let's go West. Let's go West. Let's alternate.
Okay. Oh, I've got two that I like.
Okay, so
And
go with one of those.
What are the
Again,
teams?
I put really, this was on the subway home, but just things. Lakers implosion. I think they're going to implode this year.
The LeBron saga continues. I think Matt sent the tweet today. Luke is like, "Oh, I want a really good center and some shooters so I can do pick and rolls." It's like, okay, thank you, Luka.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have LeBron's bird rights. He's been there so long. He could be the last one to sign, and they could, again, go over cap in a way where you can sign those guys and make those moves and still bring him back. I think the best solution for everyone is for him to go back.
I don't disagree, but it has to be like a reasonable contract. And even then, like, he takes up a roster spot. And now there are rumors that Kevin Love's going to join him there too, and that's another roster spot.
Fine.
I'm really not joking, right? Like,
he doesn't take up a roster spot. He without Reeves and Luka, he beat the Rockets.
I understand that the Rockets had a lot of problems too. It's not
okay, and I know Kevin Durant wasn't playing, but
okay.
Still.
So you're gonna. I don't want to spoil all of it. I have Lakers implosion, and then my next bullet is Rockets implosion.
Okay, so
Rockets are more likely. The Lakers need to be smart and need to be savvy. I don't disagree that signing LeBron last could be a great move for them. But again, they need to be smart and they need to be savvy. They need to prioritize Luka and everything Luka wants. Stop worrying about LeBron. LeBron's time in the spotlight is over in LA. It's time to focus on Luka. And part of focusing on Luka could be bringing LeBron back the right way. And I know their owner is the Dodgers owner, and the Dodgers owner more or less has said, I'm going to spend $1 trillion on this roster. We're going to the World Series every year. We're going to win every other year, and that's because I'm going to spend more than anybody else. And they have, right? I mean, you see the Ohtani contract. They have all these guys on the roster on the Dodgers. So this guy isn't afraid to spend. He's like the opposite of Dolan.
The only thing with that, though, is there are more limitations with the NBA than there are in baseball.
100%. But this guy isn't afraid to spend. And I think NBA spending is obviously a little different.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, he's going to spend the NBA way.
I just think when our spreadsheet comes around again next season, I'm going to have the Lakers in the play-in.
I think it depends. There's so much can change. We're, again, way too early predictions. But
I think
the draft is a week from today. Free agency is in like a week and a half. 2 weeks. I just think so much is going to change literally within the next month.
Four-time NBA champion Klay Thompson took less money to go play with Luka in Dallas. You're telling me it's going to be hard to convince players to take less money to come play with Luka, not in Dallas, but in LA.
No, not
It's not going to be difficult to get guys there. And I know they don't have any like draft picks or anything really, but who really cares? And I guess
they have stuff they could trade. I mean, they have picks they can move.
But if they're going to spend, they can't aggregate anything. So then they'll be stuck with whoever they sign and whatnot. So
right, exactly. So I think it depends how they build it out. But I don't think they'll implode. I think they might stagnate. Like they might be another second round exit.
I agree,
but I don't think they're going to get worse than that.
100% agree.
Sorry, Michael. Sorry to hate on your prediction.
I just don't know. Rockets implosion.
Yeah, I
guess we'll segment it.
And I have Rockets imploding.
Kevin Durant getting caught on his burner, whether or not it was him or not, was the worst thing that happened. Their chemistry is in the dumpster. I don't think there's like obviously like the Rockets team, and then there's like Kevin Durant, and the Rockets team are like, we need him, and Kevin Durant's like, you need me, but they don't want to like mesh, you know?
I think. Yeah, I mean, I just think they'll benefit from getting Fred VanVleet back. Like, I think 100%. They just not having a true point guard on that team with all those mouths to feed, and honestly, just the personalities alone, they needed someone just facilitating on the court for them a little bit more. And not that that's going to change. That's not going to change the dynamics of him tweeting that teammates suck. Yeah,
we're all like, oh, they didn't have a point guard. Why is the lack of just the presence of a point guard? Like, why did it turn into Mad Max Fury Road?
Because it's
they're
like
all just give me the ball, I'm shooting. Yeah,
and they all turn the ball over. Like Kevin Durant's not like a smart ball handler, you know, set up the offense type of guy. He's a bucket. You know, there's not a lot of guys.
They relied on Şengün to do so much of that, which again he did well, but as well as
I thought Reed Shepherd showed a lot of good stuff. Right, he's a little bit of a dog, but obviously similar to like we talked about Brunson. It wasn't like we had to hide, you know, keep Brunson off the floor because he was such a terrible defender. And part of that was like the dog and Brunson fighting to like, you know, show on screens and like, you know, prevent switches and things like that. So like, I think Reed Shepherd could do a lot of stuff like that, but even then he's still so young. And like, I mean, it's just tough. And they turn the ball over a lot. And I think part of the chemistry issue is like, Jabari Smith Jr. like clanks one off the side of the backboard, and immediately everyone's like, "Come on, bro!" Right? Like Şengün with a terrible turnover, and then he like gets dunked on defense. They're like, "Come on, bro!" Right? And I think what exaggerates that more is the media attention they get because they have Durant. Right? It's like the media is like, "Look at Şengün. Is Şengün a problem? Is Durant a problem? You know, can they play Reed Shepherd?" Right?
Yeah.
Like, so, but I don't think they're necessarily a bad team.
I think they're closer to implosion than the Lakers just because of the personality issues. Whereas, like, the Lakers, at least, and let's assume Austin Reeves come back, like, him and Luka are clearly on the same wavelength and like each other. Yeah. I don't think anyone on the Rockets actually likes each other. And I think that makes it a little easier to assume that they're going to implode. So I'll give you that, Michael. I could see a Rockets implosion.
Kevin Durant has kind of turned into like a James Harden. Like, they always send that meme from Arrested Development, like, but it could work for us. Durant has 100% turned into another one of those guys who, like, teams keep convincing themselves that he'll help them, and then it creates a bad, toxic environment, and you get shipped off to the next situation.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it keeps happening.
It's really,
I like that we're
referencing,
Arrested Development memes, but yes, it's exactly what it is. It might.
I did this weird thing with Durant, not with Durant. I watched, because I just can't stop watching the Knicks win the finals, like, content. But then one of the content pieces I saw was, like, the last 20 years, like, dribbling out the clock of the NBA, the clinching game.
Yeah.
Which was pretty darn cool. Like, I highly recommend going down that memory lane and just it's like the last 10 seconds of, or whatever, of each finals. The ones that I literally have no feeling about, I'm ambivalent and do not care, are when he is dribbling the ball out for the Warriors the 2 times he won. And I don't know what he did, man, to his legacy. That's how
I know. It's brutal.
Those championships are, like, not fun to even think about. For me. I'm Warriors fan.
Yeah, it was the super team of super teams. And I think that's kind of what pushed us to the era of basketball we're in now, where it's like we see a new champion every year. Teams get punished financially.
Right.
It's because we want some of that parity back into the league. And I think sooner or later we'll kind of get back into, like, okay, a team really figures it out. and they can string together a couple years, 4 or 5 years where they're in the finals every year, or
Right.
they're winning a championship, a two-peat or a three-peat. So
I know. I think it's only a matter of time. Again, the CBA is 2 years old, so like it's going to take a little time to figure it out, and it's going to take time for contracts and everything to adjust. We're also doing the
100%.
new lottery odds. Like it's going to take a little time for everyone to adjust to that. But once people figure it out, then yes, we're going to get back to that point where you're going to see, like, all right, here's the right equation of how you build a team and how you
Exactly.
navigate it.
And it's going to come from one of these brilliant GMs, a Presti, a Rose, an Ainge. Someone's going to figure it out. So,
Yeah.
And then once they've proven the model works, it'll get copied.
I agree. All right, you guys ready for another prediction?
Go for
Giannis is traded by the draft. I think he's going to Miami, and I think all this Celtics fodder is nonsense. I don't think they'll actually have the. I don't think they'll have the stones to pull it off. Like I don't know that they trade away their finals MVP winning Jaylen Brown after the season he just had to get an older Giannis. Like I get why you might think about doing it, but I don't think the Celtics do, and I can't think of any
rumors.
I don't think any other team other than Miami is as motivated to trade for him.
Really?
I think Miami's the only one putting up like a real offer for Giannis.
But I
don't think it's a good deal. I think Pat Riley is a person who's like you offer them pennies on the dollar type of guy. I think he does it in that's just how he does business down there. And Milwaukee at this point has let this drag on way too long. I think everybody in the entire league, national media, local media, players, coaches, GMs, they all know Giannis is disgruntled, which means you're not getting what you can get for a Giannis. And I think you're going to see like a Luka type of trade where you're like, that's all you got. I honestly think you're going to see something like that.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's it. I think it's Miami because what are they going to give you? Jaime Jaquez and Tyler Hero? Like
Tyler Hero.
And also, I'll make an extension of my way too early prediction because predicting Giannis getting traded in a week is not tremendous. That's easy. That's low hanging fruit. My prediction with that though is the Heat are maybe the 6th seed, but probably a play-in team with Giannis, Bam, and nobody else on the roster.
I don't understand how Giannis and Bam helps you, like having them together. They're the same position, same type of player.
You'd have great interior D. You would have great interior defense. It's about all I'm celebrating. Yeah.
So then, like, the Celtics get hot for 5 games and they smoke you in the playoffs?
Right. That's what I mean. I don't think it's that good. I don't understand that.
The Knicks shoot 40% from 3, right? Like,
and we just got a 7'6" dude to come out to the 3-point line every play in the finals. Like, I think there's new science data that supports you can get Giannis out of the paint and still beat it. Like,
I do agree you can build a championship team around Giannis as Giannis right now, right? He still has a couple years left in the tank where he can be a bona fide best player on a team to win a championship. But I think with a mega star making all that money, it would have to have happened in Milwaukee. And Milwaukee, time and time again over the past couple of years, ever since they won that championship, blunder after blunder after blunder, and it's really hard to watch.
Yeah, it's been a drag for them. I mean, undeniably.
This Heat prediction is interesting because I've just been buying the Boston thing hook, line, and sinker.
I don't.
So.
I think it's another Eastern Conference team, and I think that's part of Giannis being like, I don't want to go West, and the Bucks like somewhat trying to help him out. But
the only reason I could see it being a Western Conference team is I think some Western Conference GM and coach saw what Victor just did to the Western Conference and is like, we want to get a guy that can try and stop. We can throw to stop it. Stop Victor. And Giannis he's the perfect guy to play defense against Victor. Yeah. He just is. So
I think.
So my point is, I think if you're Portland, who I'll use that literally because they matched up against the Spurs. Are you not at least thinking about it? You own the Bucks picks. I'm sure the Bucks would be intrigued on getting those picks back.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and they're getting Dame back. It would make a little more sense to me. But
Portland makes a lot of sense. I like Atlanta. Atlanta desperately needs an interior presence, rim runner, which is exactly what Giannis is. And if you look at what they have, it could be deadly. They got some good shooting. They got a lot of guys who play defense. They'd be huge. And the shooting, I don't think, would be so horrendous where you turn into like the Magic or you turn into the Pistons, where you really have like one guy on the court you're worried about shooting.
I mean, they have some valuable picks too. I mean, they have Atlanta.
They have the Pelicans. They have their pick.
They have 8 in this draft. Like, that's intriguing. So, again, I don't know how they end up playing this, but yeah, I could see a few teams trying to get involved and try and pry him away. Do I think it's the right answer? No. Do I think it's probably the Miami Heat? Yes, and I do think it's going to happen on or before draft night.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it, I mean, he'll get traded at some point. I think the longer you let it on, the worse deal you're going to get. So you got to bite the bullet and just take the best offer you can get as soon as possible. That's my feeling.
And the one wild card thing I'll say is I didn't see it at all. I feel like I don't know if you guys did. Cleveland coming out of the Mitchell race, I just didn't see that coming. Like, you never know.
True.
Some weird team is going to be involved in this, either directly in a in a 2-team trade.
He'll end up in LA.
You know, something weird is going to. I feel like it's been so quiet and the murmurs have been so strange that some team is going to emerge. So I'm taking the field over Miami.
Okay, that's fine.
There's definitely calls going on.
I don't think Pat Riley can handle the embarrassment of whiffing again on another star free agent.
I don't think he cares at all, Pat Riley.
I think he does because he's a crazy person.
No.
But anyway.
Yeah. What's the next hot take? Let's go.
Oh, well, I could stay on this. We kind of were talking about it. What do I want to talk about on my list? There are 2 that are kind of related to this Giannis thing, so I'll stick with them.
Okay.
There's another one I want to get to, depending on our time, but I have the Wolves will make a big swing in the trade market. That's not that exciting, but it matters because they have to.
I think some combination of Rudy, Randall, sadly DiVincenzo because he's hurt. I don't think they would get rid of Naz Reid, but I think some combination of those first 3 are out the door. And they're bringing in a guy. I mean, you see the rumors that they want a point guard, like a true off-ball point guard, someone to take some of the offensive burden away from Anthony Edwards, which the rumors that I've seen are that they think about a De'Aaron Fox trade because of just considering that the Spurs don't really need him. And the other one is Kyrie is sitting, kind of wasting away on the Mavericks. I could see both of those happening.
I think Randall Randall's from Dallas, so I think that Randall for Kyrie swap, and I think you might need to include Dante to
whatever the math is
match
on that,
salary. Yeah. I think that works out well for both teams if you can make it work.
Well, and I think too, look at what Randall has done pretty much everywhere he's gone. He does raise the floor of your team.
100%.
He does help you. You're not going to get over the hump, but I don't think the Mavericks want to get over the hump right now. But you probably want to have
be competitive
in a competitive environment. Exactly.
100%.
And especially with them changing the lottery odds, raising your floor and not being in the bottom 3 teams, probably pretty appealing. Randall might be that type of guy that you want on your roster.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll ever be a bottom 3 team as long as Flag is a Maverick, but
yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, with how competitive the West is, I mean, they might lose a lot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, their record when Anthony Davis wasn't playing and post when they traded him, not great. So...
yeah. I mean, I think they're a good team. I think they had a lot more problems than just Anthony Davis. But
yeah, definitely.
I think what will help a deal like that kind of go through is people want to see Kyrie get back and see kind of exactly what he looks like. And I think there's a lot of guys around the league like that, right? If you were thinking about trading, a DiVincenzo, like it would be a lot easier to see him come back as a Timberwolf. And then, but obviously, like if the salaries work, the salaries work. So,
right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the Timberwolves. I think Dosunmu, Edwards, McDaniels, and Reed, I think that's a really good 4 players right there. And then they just kind of figure out what's left. And honestly,
if Dante didn't get hurt too, perfect fit.
Yeah. I honestly, at that point, like Naz is your starting center, and you have to think about what you're doing with Rudy. I think because that 5 there...
Rudy? Good God.
I mean, you never know. He's still a good defender, and I think he showed a lot offensively, passing-wise, and even like a little bit of touch. Like I feel like the hook shot and the push shot and things like that were kind of like working for him throughout the playoffs. I felt like he kind of gave teams a little bit of problems. I know we all think about him as just like a bricks for hand, only blocks type of center. He's like the Michael Jordan of Nerlens Noel's, but Yeah.
I'm looking at Rudy Gobert's contract right now. He has
It's like 35, 40 million.
yeah,
or
he
something
makes
like that.
36.5 this year,
Yeah.
and then he has a $38 million player option the year after that when he's going to be 35 years old.
Yeah, not awful though.
That's 20. That's like 22% of the cap.
If you're like the Hornets and you desperately need a center, are you upset with that? For
I
Miles
guess.
Bridges?
Ugh. I guess you could get away with it, especially considering they're not paying any of their other key players at this point.
That's what I mean.
Does Gobert? I feel like Gobert ruins what's going on in Charlotte.
No. I think Charlotte has good vibes. Rudy Gobert is an accomplished center who knows how to win games. He brings a veteran pedigree, and he fills a positional need for them. Obviously, like, you hurt your chemistry a little bit, but I still don't think that makes you like a non-playoff team. And like, they really need a power forward in some type of way. They need size, right? The only guy on their team right now that has size is Kalkbrenner, and it's not like he's a good player.
But
it's
they
not
still
like
they might address that this offseason in other ways.
They could. I think they had a couple misses on some draft picks. The guy they picked a couple years ago at 8, Saloon or whatever, I think he hasn't quite turned out the way they wanted him to, but he's also like 6'10", he shoots threes, so you never know how far he goes and how long he sticks around and what he turns into in the future. But he was also like the youngest player in that draft, so obviously there's a really high ceiling for him still. So
I want the Wolves to trade for Giannis. They won't, and I don't.
It would be fun.
That would be ridiculously amazing. That'd be insane.
It's actually I brought this one up because it's actually the only place I'd be happy for. I want him to just go there because I feel like it provides interesting competitiveness in the West and deserves like a real chance.
It's a great situation for Giannis, especially if he's playing center, and it's just like running gun offense. They're grabbing rebounds and they're turning you over. They're playing defense. Like, really good team at that point. Over the top good team.
I'm fingers crossed for that.
Would be fun.
What was your other Giannis related take?
I have no other Giannis. I have one other
Bucks related.
I have one other trade prediction, and I have one other East team that I'm afraid of next year for the Knicks.
All right, lay them on us.
I think the Pacers will be a top 6 seed at minimum. Like, I think they're going to be back to complete relevance right away.
I think they're going to start slow, and then they're going to get like burning hot at the end of the season, and they're going to rip the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they'll make the Eastern Conference Finals.
I think Halliburton needs to get comfortable again. I think learning how to play with Zubats is going to be an adjustment. Like, I just think there's a lot of moving parts for them, and I do think they're also going to make additions this offseason beyond what they already have on the team. But I do think that core of Halliburton, Siakam, Zubats, both Nembhard and Nesmith, I mean, like, that's a great starting lineup right there. And then you get into the bench of McConnell and whoever else they add. Like, I think that team is formidable as well.
Can I just say that NBA draft lottery is rigged because that pick this year was like protected in such a unique way, and somehow they still lost it.
I was
coin flip.
I couldn't believe that worked out that way because I am rooting against them as a Knicks fan. So I was like, I couldn't believe that didn't convert because we would have been cooked if they got the fifth pick plus this team.
As a Knicks fan, I'm like, good job NBA, but as like a basketball enjoyer.
Yeah,
and it being the Clippers,
would have been exciting.
Yeah, I mean, that's not great.
Well, the Clippers... Who knows, man? They punished themselves, right? I think we were all like, the NBA has to destroy their team. They did it to themselves. So.
I know. All right, what's your other trade rumor or trade idea?
It's my last one. It's a competitor in the East, and then I'm done. I think that's all. But yeah, that too early one. I think I'm luxuriating the fact that we've just won a title, but the Pacers are going to ruin my life and cause my heart to pound.
They're our biggest threat in the East. I'm not even worried about Detroit next year. I'm fully focused on Indiana.
I'm worried about Detroit too. We'll see. But
the games we have to play Indiana during the regular season, like when they played us this year, they brought a fight. Like.
Yeah,
we were like, this is such a terrible team.
Even while
but they wanted to crush us, and I need us to bring that to them this upcoming year. Well, I need us to.
They've never played us with Cat as hub, so
no, it's not.
We need to see what happens now. They've never seen the Jugger Knicks, so
No.
let's see what happens.
I need a minimum one Nemhard Brunson tangle up. I need Nemhard to foul him real hard, and then Brunson turn around and be like, "Watch yourself, bro."
Gonna happen. My last one is just Donovan Mitchell's going to get traded this season. It's happening.
I don't think they do it.
You don't think they just need to cut bait?
No.
All right. Okay, I was wrong.
I don't think so. I think they sunk their teeth in bringing in James Harden. They're going to give this an experiment. They're going to give this experiment time. I think it's a bad experiment. I don't think it ends well. I mean, it's just catastrophic. Look at how badly they got crushed in the... Granted, they made the Eastern Conference Final. Worth celebrating. But the way that they handled that was just abysmal. Like, it was pathetic. And I don't know how it improves unless you make a legitimate shakeup outside. It sounds like they're going to re-sign Harden. So do you move one of Mobley or Allen? And unless you do that, and what do you do that for? Like, again, I just don't know what the right answer is here.
I like in a dream scenario where you're like playing 2K and you have forced trades on and stuff like that, and you can like work the deals you want. I really like the idea of building around Mobley. I think throughout that Cavs series, I know we smoked them. Even the series the Cavs played before they came and played the Knicks. I thought he had some plays where I was like, I didn't know he could do that. You know, there's some threes, there were some offensive plays where I was like, that looked really smooth, that looked really comfortable. And if you can kind of get more into that rhythm of like really being a scoring threat, like you can really run a play for him and he can get you a bucket, I think that raises their floor so much higher. And obviously a defensive player of the year, you know how good he can be on defense. So I like the idea of building around Mobley. I don't hate the idea of Jarrett Allen being there with him. I don't think it's like the perfect fit. I don't think it's a match made in heaven, but I don't hate it. I see Mobley a little bit like a Jaren Jackson Jr., right? Like, not really a center.
Is that what you build around?
I mean, you can make it work. I think in today's NBA, you just kind of have to look at what you have on your roster and do the best you can and instill a mentality within your team to like fight and never give up and make the right plays and play for each other and things like that. So I think obviously no matter who you put next to Mobley in the front court, you still have a lot of questions in your backcourt with your guards. I think Garland wasn't far off from what they needed. I think Mitchell is probably a good option as well, but I don't think it's like a match made in heaven. I don't think their roster construction gets the most out of what they have. I think they have on paper, it's like, this is a really good team, but then you watch them play together and you're like, I just don't think they're working with each other.
No, that's exactly it. And that's why I think they need to shake it up. I just don't think it's going to be, you're not going to get rid of Donovan Mitchell, I don't think.
Yeah, I just don't know what the shakeup is, right? Like, how many more pieces can you move? How many more trades can you make before you're just like, we've squandered our opportunity to do anything special. So.
And that's what I think it ultimately boils down to. But
which is so tough. And honestly, like, out of all the situations you could be in the NBA, it's probably one of the worst fates you can have to like meddle somewhere, not like being a championship favorite or being a championship hopeful and like not being like one of the worst teams in the NBA. It's just like not really where you want to be.
Although with the new lottery odds, maybe not. So who the hell knows?
I don't even think they're that bad. I think that's the other problem.
No. But I think when you start to say we're going to reset, you're never going to lose enough to be one of the bottom three. You're still going to be good enough.
And so like in a way it helps them a little bit, but and I know Mobley is like 24, so it's not like, oh my God, the timeline is evaporating before our eyes, but I don't know. Like they're in I scratch my head when I think about the Cavs. I guess that's maybe where I have to go with it.
I get it. All right, guys. Do we have any other predictions, takes, thoughts? Or are we wrapping this bad boy up? It's time for me to get some Z's before the parade tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm going to enjoy it.
I mean, I'm excited for the draft. I think there's a lot of good players in the draft, and like some teams have some interesting picks. So I'm excited. I think, basketball is up. and maybe that's because the Knicks won, and I'm excited. But
It's weird having a short turnaround between my team winning the finals and being like, oh my god, we have to pick in a week. Yeah,
so fast. Like if I was Leon Rose, I'd be so overwhelmed right now. I'd like go home and like cry, and I'd be like, I'm so overwhelmed at work. Oh my god,
it's a lot because you can't even celebrate. Like it's
like I mean, everybody. I know, like I've seen a lot of players like post like workout sessions. I'm like, okay, right, like you're a player, you love playing basketball, whatever. You know, you're having some time off, we're taking it easy. But like Leon Rose actually has to go to work and like talk to people and think about things and
so crazy.
No vacation, no days off. He like immediately went from like lifting the LOD
he can go on vacation in August.
Sure, yeah.
He'll be
Even
fine.
then, like he's got to like figure out the summer league roster and who's getting cut and who's not getting cut.
Fine, September.
Yeah,
Before
whenever
the season starts.
But between the trade deadline ending, right, being the trade deadline passing, and whenever you make the playoffs, that's his light season.
Yeah, he also makes millions of dollars, so I don't feel as bad. But
That also helps a lot.
yeah,
Honestly, pay him more.
I think after this win,
James Dolan, pay that man.
yeah, exactly.
He's earned it.
Oh, easily.
Okay.
All right, team. Well, thanks for everyone tuning in.
That's all I had to say.
Luke, your service, you are breaking up like crazy right now and freezing on me. Which might be a sign that I gotta
Internet is unstable.
You're cooked, Luke. Well, on that note, I'm gonna cut Luke and all of our listeners loose. Thank you all for tuning in. This is the Hoop Troop Podcast. Let's go Knicks. Join us next time.